let's go back to the video of the real terrorist.
What you should do ranges from clap them in irons to let them walk. Category 1 is for the baddest of the bad. This is someone you should arrest immediately, just like you handle any other warrant. Then call TSC. Odds are you won't see any of these guys. Category 2?
Yeah, hit pause. I just can't help it. Odds are you won't see one. No kidding. It's now been declassified. We knew this 5 years ago when she was on the show, Sybil Edmonds, but under federal gag order, she couldn't go fully public. FBI translator of NSA intercepts. And she said, look, drug running, child kidnapping, it's all CIA, all Al-Qaeda. Bin Laden works for us. That's all I can tell you. She told Congress this and was gagged. She now went and broke the federal gag order 2 weeks ago and said Al-Qaeda was under full U.S. control till 9/11. This is the intercept she's hearing. Wayne Madsen, investigative journalist, has now confirmed that they've got a whole NSA group just watching 9/11 whistleblowers in the government. So see, again, of course you're not going to see level 1. Clap them in irons immediately. Remember Springman, the head of the Jeddah Embassy of Saudi Arabia we had on, was also in the Toronto Star. He wouldn't let Mohammed Atta and others back from that Malaysian terror summit as they were flying back through the Middle East from Asia. And they told him, don't worry, their terror names are just their CIA covers. And then you had the head of the embassy in Canada also went public, not just in Saudi Arabia. And then Colonel Stephen Butler, the head of the Defense Language School, went public in the San Jose Mercury News and AP and said, look, the government did this. They let this happen. These guys were trained at bases. I'm the dean of the school. I called him up and he said his life was being threatened. He couldn't talk. But the point is they started a court-martial until he agreed to shut up. This is all staged, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I said I'd get to the video quicker than this. It's so amazing. And then I'm going to go through this folder, how the whole deal is staged. Just Klan group, white supremacists, militias, all of it. It's staged. Any violent group. It's now coming out in congressional testimony about this. It's coming out in mainstream news in Colorado. Missouri's having state hearings about it. I mean, look at these cops dressed up like anarchists. Just look at them. Out there trying to get people to do illegal things in Missouri at the end of the Fed protest. We're on to you. We've caught you. It's over, criminals.
Direct from Austin, coast to coast, and in your face. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
But this is the federalization. This is the takeover. Continue with the internal FBI training video that they also give to local police to brainwash and federalize them. Here it is.
You should call TSC right away, and you may be asked to detain them for a reasonable time. You probably won't see any of these people either. Category 3. If you get a hit, it'll most likely be a Category 3. These are people that may have ties to terrorism, but don't know that we know. And we want to keep it that way. So don't let them know that they're on a watch.
See, this is really training the local police to go out and be secret police. But they don't want to make the public mad and know that they've all been turned into secret police. Okay? And so, again, when they're harassing you and asking you questions, I mean, I was sitting there paying a taxi cab, took me to the airport, and a TSA guy just came over and asked where I was from and how I was doing. And it was all right out of this. And one time I was at the Austin airport, and a guy was reading a book, looked like it was out of 1984 with a black and white cover, saying how someone becomes a terrorist. See, it's all part of the mental illness. Like, the American people are now the Ruskies, and it's the Red Terror, and they're going to have to deal with us, and we're hiding under every table, and Al-Qaeda is going to get us. And there's white Al-Qaeda. Remember years ago I told you they would announce white Al-Qaeda when they were getting ready to focus Homeland Security on the American people, what it was built and designed and set up for? And now they say there's between 4,000 and 6,000 white Al-Qaeda. And the grandson of the ADL head, Adam Gadon, who got arrested for beating up Muslims at mosque, he suddenly is on TV, Allah Akbar. And they upload his videos in the same video format and with the Intel Center bug, in the same Al-Qaeda bug, in the same video layer. And then it turns out the head of the Intel Center was the adjunct to PsyOps at the CIA and works for Rumsfeld. Oh. I mean, could it get more obvious? Let's continue with the video. Here it is.
List or that you're calling TSC. And don't let them hear the call. Basically, you want to deal with them as you normally would without the hit. But ask probing questions to get positive ID. Obviously, someone might have the same name as a guy on the list without actually being that guy. Category 4 is for other people who may have ties to terrorism, but the connection is not as sure. So we want you to get positive ID info on them and then call TSC if you think they should be investigated for terrorist activity.
All right, and pause right there.
Some people...
Level 4 is the only truthful designation. We have no evidence. We have no proof, no due process. They just might know somebody who one time knew somebody who might have thought and imagined in a dream about a terrorist. That's what all the other categories are, too. But see, by saying, oh, this is an unsubstantiated level 4, now that legitimizes level 1, 2, and 3. It's all quackery. Like they're saying, oh, if you're on the no-fly list, 25,000 people a month added, over 1.2 million since they made the list secret 8 months ago. If you're on that list, you can't fly and you can't own a gun and you're not going to be able to have a job, they're saying. And if you have bad credit, you're going to be on the no-fly list. That's been announced. So it's this new no judge, no jury. Your rights are over now. It's like Germany. They would just say, you got to have this mark on your papers saying you're a bad person. But now it's the mark of your face scan, your thumbprint, your biometrics. With the face scanning cameras, the license plate scanning cameras, your cell phone, by federal law, tracking everywhere you go. They can dial in even when it's off and listen to you. All admitted. All admitted. This is the total Soviet Union of America. Let's take it out to break with more of the clip.
Our database are not active terrorists, but only associates or supporters who are under investigation. You are the nation's front line in the fight against terrorism. If a terrorist gets into our country, what law enforcement officer is most likely to run into him first? You are. You get up close and personal with more people in this country than anyone else. Through your eyes, counterterrorism agencies of America can see and detect terrorist threats long before a deadly act unfolds. Let's look at a couple likely examples.
All right, let's stop there. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Finally in the news this evening, it's being reported that cyber spies from Russia and China have now penetrated our power grid. Even as energy experts are reporting that each summer we get closer and closer to the limits of our nation's power grid, some say that this summer's demand for electrical power may finally push the grid over its edge, creating a cascade of power outages across the country, putting us all in the dark.
Are you prepared for the next round of storm-related outages or government-created blackouts? Have you ever thought about taking steps to get off the grid and generate your own private supply of electrical power? If so, this will be the most important information you have ever heard. Solar-powered generators are finally available. They have no moving parts to wear out or break and require absolutely no gas whatsoever. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Check out mysolarbackup.com before you lose your power.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a heads up, we have a really huge guest. I'm just going to let you know that. Huge announcement Tuesday on the show. We're also getting Ron Paul on next week. Talk about more evidence of these provocateurs, the feds and local police posing as anarchists to come out and demonize in the Federal Reserve rallies. The private banks that control this country are really getting desperate. Polls show in Gallup 75% and growing want the Fed audited or abolished. So look for the feds to do a self-inflicted wound. That's why if you see a federal building or a Federal Reserve, which isn't federal, bombed or something, start videotaping immediately. Get those feds on tape. We could bring them down with this. Follow these provocateurs. Go to In the Fed events. We got a lot of private investigators volunteering now. Go, stake it out, videotape the troublemakers, follow them back to the police station, follow them back to their handlers, burn them good. We're burning them everywhere. We're going to continue to burn them. We're going to continue to expose their terrorist activities, their false flag events. That is a staged terror attack. When the police attack other police and blame it on the good protesters as a way to shut down free speech in America. The beta test was Seattle 99. They do it over and over again worldwide. We blew their cover then. We're going to blow their cover now. You are the front line against the terrorist. You are the front line to expose the Army and Pentagon's black ops against this nation. We have people in the FBI. We have people in every other agency in the military. 70+% of the donations for president went to Ron Paul from the military. We know you're good. These compartments that are carrying out the terror. They're going to do it under the guise of a federal drill. They always do. In case you catch them, they're going to say it's part of the drill. Play along. They'll kill you if they think you're about to expose their terror attack. So get the information, get it out on YouTube, get it out on Google before they can kill you. If you don't do that, you're dead. This is how we defeat the New World Order. This is how we bring their crimes to justice. We will not be stopped. These techniques of liberty and truth will defeat them. Back to the FBI, federalizing local police, turning them into secret police, teaching them that the American people are terrorists, that Ron Paul's a terrorist, that the Founding Fathers are terrorists. That's what the training manuals they give them with this video say. Here it is.
This officer has just stopped this driver for driving 55 in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. He ran the car's plate before approaching, then got the driver's license and car registration. When he ran him through NCIC, the driver's name gave a Category 3 hit from TSC saying he might be connected to terrorism. So how does our officer handle the news?